Discover the incredible moment when a waitress's daughter stunned a billionaire CEO con $100,000 di concept. In a small Midwestern town where life moved slowly and dreams often seemed out of reach, there was a little diner buzzing with warmth. Lily, a determined waitress, stood behind the counter, pouring hot coffee and serving up homemade pies. Her heart set on giving her gifted daughter, Mia, the world. The walls of their cozy apartment were crowded with Mia's artwork and scribbled coding notes, each one a marker of her dreams, to change the world through technology. Mia spent her evenings coding on an old laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard like a painter's brush, creating ideas that sparkled with hope and ambition. When Lily watched her daughter dive into lines of code, her heart swelled with pride and determination. Every day, Lily shielded Mia from the whispers of doubt and prejudice. They had faced their share of struggles, but together they survived. They were a team. When Tom, the billionaire CEO from a big city, rolled into town with his sleek black sedan, he saw the diner as just another quaint relic of the past. The townsfolk buzzed with speculation about his big plans to develop a tech hub. But beneath the excitement was a cloud of skepticism. What would happen to the community they loved? The local pitch event brought the town's dreams to the forefront, a chance for individuals like Mia to showcase their innovative ideas. As Mia stood up to present, butterflies danced in her stomach. She was there because of her mom's unwavering belief in her potential. However, as she glanced around the room, she saw the upper crust snickering at her mention of coding. Their laughter pierced through her confidence like a thorn. And then, in that moment of greatest hope, Tom leaned back, dismissively waving his hand when he heard her proposal. A tense silence descended, heavy as a storm cloud. Mia's heart sank, her excitement deflating like a burst balloon. Tears threatened as Lily felt her chest tighten. How could this happen when the community needed hope the most? In the days that followed, Lily wrestled with a tidal wave of emotions. Conversations about Tom's investment swirled around her and Mia, but she knew that money alone couldn't nurture the dreams of the town. No amount of dollars could equate to the resilience and creativity of its people. Fueled by a fierce clarity, she decided enough. She approached Tom not just as a waitress, but as the proud mother of a dreamer. Their conversation crackled with intensity as emotions spilled over. Lily spoke passionately for Mia and the community, challenging Tom's indifference. As their worlds collided, Tom, for the first time, witnessed the depth of the struggle and dreams in front of him. Could he see the value in the lives of those he aimed to uplift? Would he reconsider the human cost behind his ventures? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. In that charged moment, the air thick with tension, hope flickered like candlelight between the two. Could empathy emerge from this collision of worlds? The question loomed as they faced the profound gap left by privilege and struggle. Would Lily's unwavering passion ignite a spark in Tom's heart, or would it deepen the divisions? The diner seemed to hold its breath, eager for the answer that hovered just beyond reach. Lily held her breath, searching Tom's eyes for any hint of understanding. The laughter and murmurs from the back drowned out the moment's wait, a stark contrast to the fire igniting within her. "These dreams matter," she insisted, her voice steady despite the tremor of desperation beneath. "Mia's vision isn't just lines of code, it's a lifeline for our entire community." Tom furrowed his brows, shifting in his seat. His expression, at once guarded and introspective, suggested her words were penetrating deeper than he'd anticipated. He was used to the business world, where numbers dictated everything, not emotions. But before him stood a woman whose fight was raw and real, a passion that seemed to bloom like wildflowers in concrete. He momentarily faltered, conflicted. Did he even care? Mia stood at the edge of the room, heart racing. She knew her mother was pushing limits, but felt a chill of doubt creeping back. Could they really change Tom's mind? The murmurs rippled through the crowd, curiosity mixed with skepticism, a potent recipe for fear. "What is it you want?" Tom finally asked, his tone more curious than dismissive. "I want you to see," Lily replied, almost pleading. "We just need someone to believe in us. Your money won't fix everything, but your support can help shape futures, Mia's future." Tom furrowed his brows, shifting in his seat. His expression, at once guarded and introspective, suggested her words were penetrating deeper than he'd anticipated. He was used to the business world, where numbers dictated everything, not emotions. But before him stood a woman whose fight was raw and real, a passion that seemed to bloom like wildflowers in concrete. He momentarily faltered, conflicted. Did he even care? Mia stood at the edge of the room, heart racing. She knew her mother was pushing limits, but felt a chill of doubt creeping back. Could they really change Tom's mind? The murmurs rippled through the crowd, curiosity mixed with skepticism, a potent recipe for fear. "What is it you want?" Tom finally asked, his tone more curious than dismissive. "I want you to see," Lily replied, almost pleading. "We just need someone to believe in us. Your money won't fix everything, but your support can help shape futures, Mia's future." Tom rubbed his back of his neck, frustration and reflection battling on his face. "I don't see how that's my responsibility," he muttered, the words falling heavy on her heart. "That's where you're wrong," Lily pressed, refusing to back down. "Every decision you make affects lives. We're not just names on a spreadsheet. We're moms, daughters, brothers, and sisters trying to make something of ourselves, longing to contribute to something bigger. You can be a part of that." For a split second, the room grew quiet. "What's in it for me?" A part of him wavered, wanting to help, yet the cautious businessman hesitated. Could it really lead to something beneficial for him? Mia took a step forward, gripping her mother's arm for support. This isn't just about money. It's about bringing jobs and skills and hope. If we can get the right funding, we can create opportunities for so many. Her voice quaked, but the passion was unmistakable. It was her future they were discussing. The murmurs in the diner intensified, a tide of emotions flowing through the crowd. They could feel her words ignite a spark in the room, an energy that suggested action, change, even unity. They were no longer just onlookers, they were participants in a vision. Sam edged forward again, caught up in the excitement. If we can show the city council that we can really mobilize this community, they'll see our potential. This is our shot, yours too, Tom. She smiled hopefully, urging him to grasp at the opportunity before them. Tom leaned back slightly, crossing his arms as if shielding himself from the atmosphere around him. His mind raced, pulled between the allure of profitable investment and the unease of unfamiliar commitments. Suddenly, the room seemed to hold its breath, all eyes fixed on him, waiting for a sign, any sign, that he understood the magnitude of what had just been presented. "I'll need time to consider this," he finally said, his voice subdued but thoughtful. The weight of disappointment settled in Mia's chest, but Lily squeezed her hand tight, a silent message of perseverance. "Tom," she said, her voice steady like a lighthouse in the storm, "this is about more than just numbers. This is about lives. We can change things together." Just then, the diner's door slammed against the wall, interrupting the charged atmosphere once again. In walked Jake, a local contractor, whose projects were known to bring new life to the community. "I heard the commotion and thought I should check in," he said, his eyes scanning the crowd. "What's going on?" he asked, brows furrowed, as he stepped deeper into the room, sensing the weight of the discussion. The vibe shifted again, a ripple of hope ignited by yet another unexpected visitor. Lily's heart surged as she realized Jake's involvement could be pivotal. "We're discussing a chance to unite the community and create something real, something lasting," she urged, her passion igniting once more. "If we can get support from people like you and Tom, we could truly bridge the gap." The room held its breath, catching bits of hope, confusion, and anticipation. What connections could emerge from this mingling of old friends and new allies? With sparks flying and futures hanging in the balance, one thing was clear. The moment felt electric, potent with possibility. But would it be enough to turn dreams into reality? Could Jake's passion turn the tides? Or would this just be another fleeting opportunity snuffed out before it had a chance to grow? Jake stepped forward, his presence commandante atenção. The laughter from the previous conversations faded into hush. Ele exudou calmo, yet confidente energia, que seemed to exert tension in the air. "I heard something about digital literacy workshops. That's a noble cause," ele disse, seu olhar shiftando de Sam para Mia. "Exatamente. We want to bring technology into the community, to educate and uplift," Sam respondeu, uma nova determinação charpeando sua voz. It's about giving everyone the tools they need to thrive in today's digital world. But we need backing. We need investores willing to take chance on us. Seus olhos choam, refletindo hope combinado com a urgência do momento. Jake nodded, considerando o peso de Sam's palavras. I've seen firsthand how education can change a community, but eu também sei que requer mais do que boas intenções, ele respondeu cuidadosamente. It takes solid planning, dedication e, let's be honest, fair amount de funding. What do you have in mind? It's bigger than just funding, Lily chimou in, sua voz crescendo mais forte. This project can create jobs, involve local businesses. It's about revitalizar not just learning, but the entire community. She gestou aos outros gamados. It's about drawing people in and inspiring them to reach for more. Together we can fazer waves. Tom começou a desenrolar seus braços, a dúvida lentamente dissipando. Ele podia vê-lo, o drama que todos compartilhavam. E você diria, what's the vision for after the workshops? Do we have a plan para long-term sucesso? Seu voz ficou tentativo, mas carregava undertone de crescente interesse. Definitivamente! Mia levantou-se, seu coração rachando. Once we establish the workshops, we can create mentorship programs, partnerships com tech companies, and even scholarships for further education. It's about plantando as sementes de growth, she added, sua voz firme, mesmo as suas nervos borbulhando justo sob a pele. We're talking about long-lasting impact. Now you're talking, Jake said. Seu brau levantou-se, a impressionar ao Rum com sua excitação. That sounds like a comprehensive plan. Mas meu envolvimento, Tom's envolvimento, would necessitar something tangible to ensure our comfort and belief in this venture. Silêncio andou momentaneamente, enquanto os gamados estendiam olhares. O Spark tinha sido ignado, agora era tudo a reviver as chamas. Eu posso ajudar a draftar proposal, Sam sugeriu animadamente. Se apresentarmos algo concreto ao conselho e a potenciais investidores, com projeções e comunidade suporte, teremos melhor chance de conseguir os fundos. Yes, Lily disse, entusiasmo borbulhando. E nós podemos mobilizar todos vocês. Podemos fazer reuniões, guardar suporte de outras empresas, discuti-lo com famílias e criar uma comunidade coalizante que back dessa iniciativa. Together, we can make our voices heard. A energia no dinar surgiu novamente, com sussurros de excitação e determinação preenchendo o espaço. The crowd responded as if caught in a tidal wave of purpose. Tom watched, astonished by how quickly things had shifted. He felt his earlier hesitation begin to fade, replaced by the spark of possibility ignited by this group of passionate individuals. Just then, a man entered the diner, a few steps behind Jake. He wore a tailored suit, and the moment he set foot inside, the air felt dense, thick with curiosity and unease. The newcomer scanned the room before approaching. I couldn't help but overhear, he said, his voice smooth and compelling. What's this about a tech initiative? Because I might just be the investor you're looking for. The room erupted in excitement as everyone turned their attention to the stranger. Was this the moment they had been waiting for? The path forward suddenly looked brighter. But would this new face be a friend or a foe in their fight for hope? The atmosphere thickened as all eyes landed on the man in the suit. He wore an air of purpose, yet there was a glint of mischief in his eyes that left everyone wondering what would come next. Jake crossed his arms, his stance solid, but there was a flicker of skepticism on his face. "Who are you?" Jake asked, breaking the silence with curiosity edged in caution. The suit-toting man extended a hand, warmth spreading through his smile. "Ethan Marks. I run a technology venture capital firm in the city. Let's just say I have a keen interest in uplifting communities through innovation." His confidence radiated as if the diner were his boardroom. "Wow, that's quite an introduction," Mia exclaimed, glancing at Sam for confirmation that this was indeed a potential game-changer. Tom leaned forward, excitement dancing in his eyes. "What made you interested in our initiative?" Ethan chuckled lightly, a hint of sincerity in his tone. "Well, I believe that every great project needs a spark, and from what I overheard, you all have that. I want to know more. How can I help?" Sam felt her pulse quicken at the prospect. "We're aiming to implement digital literacy workshops within our community. Together, we want to create jobs and lasting pathways to education. We envision a place where everyone has access to technology and the skills to utilize it effectively." Ethan nodded, his eyes narrowing as he contemplated her words. "For a project like this, you'll need a solid strategic plan, something that shows measurable impact. Are you prepared to bring me something tangible?" The group exchanged unsure glances. They had been caught up in a rush of excitement and passion, but now found themselves grappling with the reality of their ambitious vision. The nervous energy in the room shifted to a more serious tone. "I can help with that," Jake spoke up, his voice steady. "I have experience in project management and can assist in creating the framework you need. Together, we can make the proposal detailed enough to attract not just Ethan, but others like him." "Wow, that's quite an introduction," Mia exclaimed, glancing at Sam for confirmation that this was indeed a potential game-changer. Tom leaned forward, excitement dancing in his eyes. "What made you interested in our initiative?" Ethan chuckled lightly, a hint of sincerity in his tone. "Well, I believe that every great project needs a spark, and from what I overheard, you all have that. I want to know more. How can I help?" Sam felt her pulse quicken at the prospect. "We're aiming to implement digital literacy workshops within our community. Together, we want to create jobs and lasting pathways to education. We envision a place where everyone has access to technology and the skills to utilize it effectively." Ethan nodded, his eyes narrowing as he contemplated her words. "For a project like this, you'll need a solid strategic plan, something that shows measurable impact. Are you prepared to bring me something tangible?" The group exchanged unsure glances. They had been caught up in a rush of excitement and passion, but now found themselves grappling with the reality of their ambitious vision. The nervous energy in the room shifted to a more serious tone. "I can help with that," Jake spoke up, his voice steady. "I have experience in project management and can assist in creating the framework you need. Together, we can make the proposal detailed enough to attract not just Ethan, but others like him." Mia beamed, da ansiedade em sua heart transformando em gratidão. That would be amazing. With your background, Jake, we can shape isso in something extraordinario. Ethan stepped back slightly, his interest piqued for Jake's confidence. How much time do you think you'd need to get a proposal ready? Investors want speed, but also want to see meaningful commitment. 2 weeks, Sun quickly replied, adrenaline pushing her words. We can gather our resources, commit to meetings, and really put this together. If we work hard, we'll have something impactful to show. Count me in if it means moving this forward, Ethan said, his voice firm with conviction. I'll help where I can, but remember, while I may have the funds, it's your passion that needs to shine. Cheers erupted from the group, a chorus of enthusiasm and hope sweeping through the diner. Suddenly, they were no longer just fighting for a dream, they were standing on the edge of making it a realidade. Yet, doubt began to creep back as the reality of the work ahead settled in. Could they pull off? Would their dreams withstand the trials ahead? Sun caught Jake's eye, and a silent agreement passed between them. But before they could dive deeper into their plans, a sudden crash echoed from the back of the diner. Heads turned, hearts raced, and all thoughts of optimism shattered in an instant. What had just happened? Would this dangerous interruption threaten everything they had worked for? The sound of shattering glass shattered the moment like a lightning strike. Jake's heart raced as he turned to see a young girl, no older than 7, standing frozen in terror near the kitchen doors. Her wide eyes glistened with tears, and a glass jug lay broken at her feet. The startled diner's patrons, previously buoyed in excitement, now shifted to a murmur of confusion and concern. "Mia!" Sun gasped, rushing toward the little girl. Mia was the daughter of one of the waitresses and a regular presence in the diner, often seen drawing pictures on napkins while her mother worked. "It's okay, honey." Sam knelt beside her, brushing aside the shards of glass with careful hands. But the girl simply shook her head, breathing heavily. "I was trying to help. I didn't mean to," she stammered, her cheeks a deep crimson. Jake stepped forward, his protective instincts kicking in. "What happened?" he asked, kneeling down next to Sam. "I wanted to bring drinks to the tables. I thought I could help, but I dropped it," Mia sobbed, her small fists clenched in distress. Ethan had also moved closer, his demeanor shifting from investor to compassable adult. "Accidents happen, Mia," he said gently. "You must be brave. It's natural to want to help. Just take a deep breath." The noise of conversation faded as the diner focused on the little girl, waiting to see how she would respond to Ethan's kind words.
There was something painfully beautiful about a vulnerabilidade di childhood, e contrastadis con a mais sérios ambiciones dos adultos en a room. Sam placed a reassurante hand on Mia's back. "Let's clean it up together, all right?" she offered. Agora girl nodded, still sniffling, but visibly calmed pela chinessa cercanda. As they swept up the broken glass, an unexpected shift ocorreu. The diner retornava a un gento hum de whispers, a novaisa sense de empathy conectando-los. Le aegin estado da proposal faded, li un afterthought, reemplacido pela urgência de suportar a young girl. "Hey, Mia," Jake said, attentando di laitare a mudo. "How about instead of the drinks, you come up with a cool snack idea for everyone? You can be our official snack expert." A smile brecò trus Mia's tears, e she wiped his cheeks con a back do sua hand. "Really, can I?" she asked, hope flickering in her eyes. "Absolutely," Ethan chimed in, grinning. "Every great project needs a head chef. You've got this." The words liftara un weight off Mia's shoulders. Sam exchanged glances with Jake, and for a brief moment the urgency de sua progetto felt less cruciante. If they could encourage a little girl who just wanted to help, then perhaps they could encourage themselves to tackle their big dreams. As Mia startava brainstorming snack ideas, laughter bubbled up in a diner. The mood was transformed. But amidst the cheer, a new spark ignited in Jake's mind. And thought that perhaps they could weave Mia's creatività in a proposal. "Maybe," he whispered to Sam, "we can involve local kids in our workshops. It will turn this into a community effort and give them a chance to influence their own futures." Sam's eyes lit up. "That's brilliant. It will showcase the impact we care to make." Ethan, overhearing their conversation, nodded in agreement. "You're on to something here. Kids need to be part of their education. It's how we empower them." As Mia proudly shared his snack ideas, Sam's heart surged with determination. They were growing something bigger, something interconnected, but did they have what it takes to bring this vision aloft? Then, just as the laughter crescendo, the diner's front door swung open with a loud bang. In what came a groupie di sharply dressed men with stern espresiones. All fun halted again. Un chill ran down Sam's spine as un de em approcciava Ethan, his intenciones unredabile. Was this a new threat or una opportunidad waiting to unfold? Jake's heart dropped as the tension on a diner crackled like un live wire. The hush of fluorescence lights seemed to dim, turning the room in a strange world where laughter and joy had suddenly frozen in time. The groupie di men stalked forward, their suits sharp and tailored, their faces betraying no hint of warmness. Eyes turned to Ethan, everyone holding their breath, waiting for a reaction. Ethan's expression shifted, his earlier smile fading in something more serious.
"This is what matters." The man's expressions hardened, and Jake knew this showdown was only beginning. But courage filled the diner, growing stronger with Mia's confident stance against potential rejection. Every heart in that room could feel the stakes rising, and now it was time for them to take a stand. What would it take to convince these men that they weren't just dealing with a dream, but a community ready to fight for its future? Jake's pulse quickened. The next move could determine everything. Could they turn the tide before it was too late? Jake's heart raced as the kids surrounded Mia, their laughter filling the diner and creating a stark contrast to the tension hanging in the air. They didn't know the weight of the moment, but their innocence ignited something in everyone. "Mia, we're here to help!" one of the boys exclaimed, his excitement infectious. He held a stack of napkins ready to support her snack project without a hint of hesitation. Ethan glanced at the kids, then at the lead man, whose expression hardened, revealing that he was not easily swayed. "This isn't a game," he snapped, stepping closer.
Real money is at stake. We don't have time for frivolities." Jake felt the heat rising in his cheeks. "It's not frivolous to the people here," he said, struggling to keep his voice calm. "It's about connection, community, and—" "A chance for change," Sam interrupted, her eyes blazing. "You want to invest in a child's dream? This is it. This isn't just a project on paper. It's a chance to support something much bigger." The crowd quietly rallied behind her words. The old man named Gus stood and clutched his coffee mug like a lifeline. "We've all been here. We've built our lives here. You can't just walk in, throw money around, and expect us to roll over." A murmur of agreement rippled through the diner, and the air buzzed with the electric tension of collective resolve. Jake felt myself tearing up. The community stood united, showcasing the strength of human spirit against cold business realities. Mia, emboldened by the scene, stepped in front of them. "I was thinking," she said, her small voice cutting through the chatter, "if we have snacks, everyone can just share. It'll bring us together." Her face flushed with determination, and she added, "And it could help us all feel less alone." The lead man's ice-blue eyes flickered with something. He seemed to momentarily wrestle with the conviction radiating from the children and the community. "This isn't what I signed up for," he said, but the edge in his voice dulled a little. "Then maybe you should reconsider your definition of investment," Jake pressed. "Investing isn't just about money. It's about people, their stories, and how their dreams can become real and successful." The room was thick with expectation. Everyone focused on the men, waiting to see if they would engage or retreat. Ethan stepped forward cautiously.
"Gentlemen, we are offerendo you una chance per parte di something special, a chance ad invest in una community's hope and resilience. The kids believe in this far more than you might understand." There was a flicker of hesitation in the lead man's eyes. He shifted his weight, unsure. Was the weight of Mia's spirit too heavy to ignore? Could it move someone who had built his life on hard transactions and cold numbers? Outside, city sounds crept into the diner. A siren in the distance, the chatter of pedestrians. Inside, it felt like a standstill, a moment suspended in time, waiting for the lead man's reply. Just then, Mia stepped even closer, her eyes wide and earnest. "Please, we just want to make this a happy place." Suddenly, a door swung open, and a woman stood just outside, her intent clear, holding a bundle of flyers in her hands. "I heard what's going on. School just got out, and we're bringing more kids." Jake's stomach dropped as he watched the woman take a step toward them, and the future of their dreams felt just a little more fragile. What if this was the moment that could either shatter everything or change their fates entirely? Could this new arrival tip the balance and forge a new path? Or would it be their last chance to sway the cold-hearted businessmen? The stakes were rising. He held his breath, anxiously anticipating what could come next. The woman stepped inside, her determined face lighting up the diner and cutting through the tension like a hot knife through butter. She looked familiar.
Jake couldn't place her, but there was something about her that felt warm and inviting, not unlike the community wrapped around him. "Mia, right?" she said, breaking into a smile as she locked eyes with Jake's daughter. "I'm Sarah, and I just know you're onto something special here." The kids buzzed around Sarah, their excitement renewed with her arrival. It was as if she had flipped a switch. Laughter and chatter filled the air once more, and for a moment it seemed like their small corner of the world was untouched by any threat of despair. The lead man's face hardened again, but there was a flicker of annoyance. "We don't have time for more kids," he muttered, folding his arms. Ethan, not backing down, gestured toward Sarah. "Actually, she's the one who can tell you why this project matters even more. Sarah's been in the trenches with the community. Her involvement could make a huge difference." Jake felt a rush of hope. If Sarah jumped on board, maybe it would alter the course of the conversation. Perhaps having a local voice would validate everything they were fighting for. He could sense the determination surging within him. They were not backing down today, not now. Sarah stepped forward, glancing at the kids who held their heads high, their eyes bright with the promise of sharing snacks and stories. "This isn't just about snacks or a project," she declared, her voice steady.
This is about teaching our kids what it means to come together, to share, and to help one another. You want to discuss investment? Then invest in their futures." "I need numbers," the lead man responded, his voice flat, the flicker of interest utterly extinguished. "Did you know," Sarah began, a smile breaking through her determined demeanor, "that happiness isn't measured by wealth? It's measured by connections, relationships, community contribution. That's the view you're missing." Jake watched as the onlookers nodded along, a collective sway of belief. He felt a tightness in his chest. Maybe they were getting through. "Sure, profits matter," she continued, eyeing the lead man with fierce resolve. "But when you invest here, in this community, you're investing in something much bigger than numbers on a balance sheet. You're nurturing dreams." The air in the diner crackled with tension again. The kids looked on, wide-eyed and hopeful, unsure of how the adults would respond. The lead man's jaw tightened. It was like watching a storm brewing. The skies were dark, worrying, yet the people inside glimmered with a defiant light. "Look," Jake said, stepping in, "we all know that real change doesn't come easy. But this is about giving our kids a chance. It's not just Mia's dream. This is for everyone." The air in the diner remained silent, perhaps lost in the voices and earnestness surrounding him. Jake took a tentative step closer, feeling the ground shake beneath him. The kids deserved it. Everyone in that diner did. Just think about it. By investing in them, you're investing in loyalty, in a community that supports one another. It's not just a gamble, it's joining a family. Time hung thick like syrup. Would he bend? Would he see the light in this gathering of souls? Jake's heart pounded, waiting for that moment where everything could pivot. But just then, a commotion at the diner door pulled everyone's attention. Another woman rushed in, breathless, her cheeks flushed. "I have news! The town council may back our project! They heard the kids are involved!"
Collective gasps echoed throughout the diner. Hope sparked through the crowd, igniting a fervor that might just turn the tide. As everyone turned to the lead man, the weight of their collective dreams hung heavy in the air, asking one simple question. Would he stand with them, or would he walk away, leaving everything they built in danger? The lead man's icy blue eyes flickered for the briefest moment, caught by surprise as the new woman spoke. Her news sunk into the room like a stone thrown into a pond, creating ripples of excited gasps and hopeful whispers. Collectively, the diner felt that new energy. Could the town council really back their dreams? He shifted uncomfortably, weighing his response in the balance of uncertain faces, hoping for a reason to dismiss this entire charade and step away from the emotional chaos.
Finally, as the day the presentation approached, nerves tingled against the current of confidence they'd built together. But this time it was different. They had transformado a weight of doubt into a symphony of determination. And so, in a cheerfully packed council chamber, Lily, Mia, Tom, and several townspeople found themselves face to face with the city council, presenting their unique vision. Mia stood at the forefront, her heart hammering in her chest, speaking not just to officials, but to her community, the spirit of it shining among her. I believe in us. We're not just coding on a screen or cooking snacks. We are the energy, the heartbeat of our town. With the right support, we can change lives and bring everyone together. Her voice rang out clear, and like a wave, emotion swept through the room. As the final questions were asked and the discussions turned toward the logistics of funding, Jake couldn't help but beam. This was it, the shift they had all longed for. When the council members finally nodded in agreement, the room erupted into cheers. The adults embraced each other, tears of joy filling the air as the young faces lit up brighter than the sun. Mia turned to her mother and grinned, their hearts intertwined in that moment of triumph. Through all the struggles, they hadn't just forged a clearer pathway for their community. They had rekindled the flame of their dreams. And as the laughter and congratulations washed over them, one thing became crystal clear. They had each other's backs. Together, they had woven a fabric of community that wasn't just about business and investment. It was about love, resilience, and the unwavering belief in one another. Never again would any of them doubt the power of connection. As the diner doors swung open wide to a fresh breeze of opportunity, a sense of togetherness echoed in every corner of their little town, promising that the warmth of unity would spark endless possibilities for the future. Now more than ever, it was clear how much they had transformed. Together, they would not only build brighter futures, but they would also cherish the journey that got them there. So, do you believe in the power of dreams? Are you ready to see how they evolve? Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait, not even one more second to share.